Hello and welcome to live training, where we're going to have a little glimpse of the Reds in action before they take their trip to Bucharest in Europa League action. I'm not going to be alone taking a look at this training session. I have got journalists from The Athletic, Laurie Whitwell, and Star of Talk of the Devils. How are you doing?
Star, wow, okay,
yeah,
that's a bit of a big sell.
I'd start off on a high note.
I'll take that.
I mean, how's it going? You looking forward to seeing this?
Yeah, it's always great to get a peek behind the scenes at training. Obviously, it's only 15 minutes, it's usually a few rondos, but obviously seeing which players are fit, how they're interacting with each other, sort of seeing how the coaches all work together, particularly given it's such a new kind of setup with Ruben Amorim as head coach. I think it's going to be interesting.
They are going to be wearing their new training kit as well, the European training gear, which I'm donning as well. The players wear it a lot better than I do, but if you want to take a look at it, check it out on the QR code that's on the screen right now too. It is a big game. It looks like we could obviously secure that top 8 spot. I mean, it's crucial, isn't it? Yeah,
I think it is, particularly because of the fixture list, right? Like, you know, Ruben Amorim's spoken a lot about the need for more training sessions like this, where he's able to get to grips with his team and sort of implement his tactics and style. And so, yeah, getting those 2 extra knockout games out of the calendar, I think, will be beneficial to everybody. So, but they do need to get a positive result. I mean, it's quite hard trying to figure out exactly the results that are required. Ultimately, if United win, they're through in top 8. That's all that matters, really. But obviously, there's some wriggle room if they don't get 3 points.
We can see Ruben here as well. He's always in good spirits during these training sessions, isn't he?
Yeah, just doing some keep you up before they came out as well. He's obviously still got it. So yeah, I mean, he smiles a lot. I think he's very disarming in the press conference when he is asked tricky questions. It's been obviously quite an eventful start, should we say, to his life at United, but he's able to kind of say the right things, I think, at different moments, and he's clearly got a strong support team around him as well, you know, from Sporting, being able to bring over, I think, 6 staff from his club over there. So yeah, I think he looks comfortable in himself.
You've been to plenty of press conferences, we shall say, seeing Ruben. What's he like to speak to from a journalist perspective?
He's really good, to be honest, because you can ask him tricky questions. I think he takes things head on. He has a laugh with you. You know, he's a little bit sort of self-deprecating as well at times. You know, obviously the stuff he came out with after the Fulham game, where he was saying he's not 40, he's actually 50. Then in the press conference to us afterwards, he said, "Oh, sometimes I regret some of the things I come out with." So, you know, it's quite humorous to kind of be around. But he's strong as well. You can clearly tell that he's not shy about sending messages in press conferences and having that platform to use to kind of make sure that people understand what he wants from them.
It was a lovely little birthday present for him, wasn't it, getting those points at Fulham? I mean, it was a tricky game, though.
Yeah, tricky game, tight contest, pretty uneventful, right? First half, and I think that kind of shows the need for United to ultimately, whether it's going to be this window or the summer one, sort of reinforce with attacking options. But luckily, you know, they stuck together, right? They had the team plan was at least able to sort of nullify Fulham, and I thought Fulham were going to be really tricky opponents because they've been really good this season, particularly at Craven Cottage. They're able to pick away through teams, and they weren't able really to do that. I know United didn't really have a shot until I'm counting Matthijs de Ligt's shot as a shot on goal at least, but obviously Martinez being the one that actually got the kind of meaningful shot on goal. But Fulham weren't really doing that much either, to be honest, and so yeah, I feel like, okay, it was a sneaky one, but they've been unlucky in other moments. So, and the away support I thought was brilliant. It looked like one of the best away ends of the season, and having the players being able to celebrate in front of them, I think, was a big thing for them.
You can see the players here getting in this huddle before, and I mean, there's some great camaraderie, isn't there?
Yeah, so we heard about this, right? So this is the Gauntlet, shall we say. I think that the players usually go through when they're back from injuries. I think we saw Leny Yoro go through it. We saw Luke Shaw go through it, and then we've seen Darren Fletcher go through it with Ruben Amorim. Okay, so this is for his 40th birthday, right, for Ruben? Do you know why it's for Darren as well? Was he just showing some solidarity there?
I mean, Darren does what he wants to do.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. I mean, it's good to see that it's the staff and the players together, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you want from a group like this. You know, obviously a football season is very long. You spend a lot of time with each other. I mean, you probably see, you know, at some moments in the season, you see them more than your own family, right? I think that's certainly the case when you're working long hours at Carrington, and the fact that they're able to kind of share those kind of moments, I think, is important. Obviously, it's not the absolute be-all and end-all, but I think Ruben Amorim was saying, wasn't he, after the Rangers game, that he really he's looking forward to pre-season, trips like that, because that's when you're away with each other. You're able to spend some downtime when it's not just all about football, where you can have these kind of conversations that are more about life and kind of getting to know each other. And that's when, if you establish those relationships and those links, in the hard moments during the season, you can push each other and you can demand more. So I think he's kind of looking forward to actually being able to get to know his players a little bit better.
We can see one of our younger players now, Leny Yoro, and he is just bursting with confidence game by game. We actually spoke to Harry Maguire earlier on in the year, and he said that Leny Yoro has the attributes to be elite. He's going to be in our press conference later. I mean, do you believe that too?
Yeah, he obviously had a difficult game, didn't he, against Southampton, when Sulemana it was a really tricky one-on-one, and he had the beating of him, really. He went past him sort of 4 times. Amorim put that down to the fact that Yoro shouldn't have been left one-on-one with Sulemana, which I think is certainly a point to make. I think he does want his defenders, though, to be able to defend one-on-one, so that's going to be an issue to come. But everybody that I speak to really, really rates him, and I think the way that he is around on the pitch, you can see he's calm, you can see he's actually mature beyond his years, he's got that speed, he seems like he's got a real good touch on him. What I did really love as well was after Toby Collier cleared off the line incredibly from Anderson against Fulham to kind of maintain that 1-0 victory, he was the one going up to him, sort of grabbing him by the neck, and it's sort of a pretty aggressive celebration, but it was that kind of stuff that it shows it's kind of primal, right? They're kind of really desperate for this win to get over the line, and he was there with Martinez and Dolo, I think it was, that obviously gave him the celebration. So, yeah, Yoro clearly seems like he really enjoys football, like he wants this to be a success, and he obviously had opportunities to go elsewhere, and he chose United. I think credit to the guys for getting it over the line. Obviously, decent transfer fee for a player of his age, but I think he's got real quality.
We've had a little verification as well about why that celebration's happened at the start of training. It's Darren Fletcher's birthday on the 1st of Feb. He's going to be 41. He's 1 year older than Ruben Amorim.
I should have known that, shouldn't I? My birthday's soon as well. Maybe I could have got in the old Gauntlet. But yeah, no, I'm not quite 40 or 41 yet, just. But 41. Yes, he's got a world of experience on Ruben Amorim, hasn't he? But I mean, as we say, Ruben's 50, so I don't know. Does Darren? I mean, Darren's been here even longer. So how old is he? 50, 60?
I'll let you ask him that.
Yeah.
I think that you'd be a little bit braver than I would.
It's like dog years, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be. But it is good to see the reaction going on. We've got Luke Shaw in training too that we've just seen. I mean, he is a great character, and we really hope Luke Shaw is back soon.
Yeah, that's big actually. Yeah, the fact he's with the group here. I don't know if he's going to be fully with the whole training session, right? He's obviously working his way back, but Amorim said, didn't he, was it last week or the week before, that he's going to be sort of back with the group in a couple of weeks. So this, looks promising. Obviously, we've been here before with Luke Shaw. You just want him to stay fit. He's such a good player, and obviously in that position that they're looking to strengthen in this window, obviously advancing talks with Patrick Dorgu, the left wing back from Lecce, but yeah, that's been a position that they've needed to have somebody in there that's a specialist, really. I think Dallo's done a really good job deputising there. Mazraoui obviously as well. I think they both switched, didn't they, against Fulham in that game, but Luke Shaw just offers that ability to carry the ball forward. He's got key ability in the final third. He can get assists, certainly. He can also play in the back three, really, and as we've seen with Martinez going forward, scoring goals. That's what Amorim wants from his centre-backs on the outside, for them to get forward and be offensive as much as they are defensive. And I think that's the next step, right? Because it's felt like it's been, at times, a back five, whereas I think what Amorim wants ultimately is a back three with dynamic centre-backs and then with wing-backs that really do push on, and Luke Shaw would obviously come into that category.
We can see the goalkeepers involved in this part of the session as well. We've got Altai on one side, Andre on the other. Who do you think could start?
Well, I think he might go for Altai, right, again? I mean, he started against Rangers, which was a little bit of a surprise, I suppose, because just because Onana's been the guy in the Premier League in European competition. Obviously, Altai played in the Carabao Cup against Spurs, and it was a difficult night for him, right? But I think the way he rebounded against Rangers, I thought he was very good, and also against Arsenal, right? That FA Cup shootout was superb. Real standout moment for him, saving the penalty in normal time. I think it was a real moment for him to to show that he can challenge Onana to be the number one and put that pressure on. I mean, we always said David De Gea responded when he had kind of someone on his back really, and he didn't have the number one spot all to himself, and I wonder if that'll provoke Onana to just step up again. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Altay starts in Romania, just because he had a really good game against Arsenal and Rangers, so you sort of feel like, okay, now it's a cup competition, allow him the chance.
We can have a look at the group that's a little bit closer to us as well. Looks like Diogo's having a lot of fun in that middle there.
Yeah, I mean, so what have we got here then? We've got the players. So the goalkeeper's been involved in the rondos is a new thing, right? Obviously, Amorim wants his goalkeepers to be able to pass out from the back, which is significant. And then, okay, it's just whoever gets the ball. Okay, Kobe, disappointed. He's in the middle. On the left, we've got Matthijs de Ligt doing the splits on the right. It's all going off. Getting a hand up from Marcus Rashford, and then you've got Christian Eriksen in the middle now as well. So then I love get the drone above. So obviously that's filming everything in training, and then they've got the big screen over on the side of the pitch that can relay anything that I think they pick up on and they want to show the players afterwards.
Yeah, they do have a great array of analysts behind the scenes, this coaching staff. We can have a look here at this group as well. I mean, you can see the coaches now, obviously. As much as the players are having a little bit of a laugh, the coaches are taking a look and see the intensity just picking up bit by bit. Yeah,
so you've got, Carlos has just blown his whistle, so he's obviously Ruben Amorim's sort of number 2, really. Carlos Fernandes, who himself, I think, only just turned 30 recently. You've got Adelio Candido to the left of him, and he's even younger, he's in his 20s, so you've got, it's a young group, but also he's got another coach with him, he's got a goalkeeping coach, he's got a fitness coach across with him. So obviously these are people that have known each other for a good while. They've been together at Sporting, I think even before that at Braga, and then at Casa Pia as well, some of them. So it's a strong bond, I think, that has been established between them all, and that you need that, right? I mean, obviously he's come in, and there's people that he's going to inherit in terms of Darren Fletcher, in terms of Andreas Georgesson, who obviously joined in the summer to look at kind of individual development at set pieces. So they've stayed, and you need that, I think, link. Certainly with Darren Fletcher, the history that he's got at the club, the knowledge of Manchester United, what it means to represent the shirt. I think that's really vital. But obviously you've got other elements that Amorim's, I guess, still kind of getting to grips with a little bit, and finding out exactly how it all works between them and what he can get from each of them.
I thought our camera up Holly was in then, to be honest, when that ball went towards her.
There was some great control there.
Signed her up, but now we're having a little look at our captain too, Bruno Fernandes. He is just the second player to score over 10 goals in the Europa League for United. He has been really clinical, and he's really getting used to that deeper role that Ruben keeps putting him into. Yeah,
he keeps mixing, doesn't it? I mean, I think this is a really interesting point, because Amorim said after, I forget which game it was, but a recent game where he basically said, well, I could put on 2 strikers if I want to show the fans, I want to show the media that I'm trying to win this game, but I think that would be detrimental to my team overall, because they need to understand the roles that I want from them. What I can do is I can tweak within the system, really. So that, I think Bruno has been a key part of that, where he's obviously started deep in some matches, and then he's pushed on if they kind of need a goal, or he started more advanced and then he's dropped deeper. In both ways, I suppose, it feels like it could be an attacking move or a defensive move, really. I suppose if you've got more attacking players on the pitch, that naturally means that you're kind of going to create more. And it was a point that he made about Garnacho, actually, after the game against Fulham, where he said, sometimes I'll ask him to play more inside, which is probably more of an adaptation to his game than if he plays on the outside, which is more natural to him. He's been a winger coming up through the academy, so but he can still play that kind of role in this system. So I think that's the kind of stuff that Amorim's getting to grips with. Yeah, but I mean, Bruno, I do think he obviously does divide opinion at times, certainly more from the outside of United fans than perhaps within the fan base, although there is some questions within. But I feel like the kind of output that he's brought to the club since he joined, a January transfer, we're in the January window at the moment, we're talking about good January transfers. He was an incredible January transfer, because he absolutely transformed that team when he did, managed to get them qualified for the Champions League that season. I mean, those are heady days, right, with United at the moment, where they are, thinking of Champions League qualification. But that's why the Europa League is important, right? Where if they win that competition, they're back in the big time.
It's huge. I mean, you speaking about attacking players, but someone that wanted to get into the mix was Lissandro Martinez, obviously at the weekend with a terrific goal.
Yeah, terrific goal. I mean, the kind of goal that he scored was the same as not same, but similar to how he scored at Anfield, right? Where he's seizing onto a loose ball at a United attack. He's getting in front of the guy that he's marking. So I think at Liverpool it was Salah, against Fulham it was Muniz. So these are guys that could then start a counter-attack. So he stopped the counter-attack, and he's also then had a shot, which is you know, a good shot, good strike. Okay, it needed a little bit of deflection, but that's exactly what Amorim wants. He also got forward, didn't he, for the winning goal against Rangers, putting that ball in. He's a quality player, clearly. He's obviously had some troubles this season a little bit, but I think his attitude as well is important, where you see him after the game next to Toby Collier, in his first answer, praising Toby Collier for the way that he kind of came on and then brought the energy to the side and obviously made that clearance off the line. So I thought that was a really nice moment for him to acknowledge a young player.
Well, we can see that the energy is still there in this squad behind us too, as they are getting ready to go to Bucharest to face FCSB. Now, if you want to make sure you are up to date with all of the press conference details, check out the Manchester United app for that later on. And also, make sure you tune to Matchday Live tomorrow night from 6:55. Thank you very much for joining me, Laurie.
Thanks for having me.
See you then.